Days are just a little bit better whenever you get to start off with Brain Fuel. Let's see. What are we going to talk about today? Oh, ask me anything. Good. Nice and easy. Ask me anything. It's live in 4 minutes. You missed a free 3-day cash game challenge. You did. Sorry about that. Why do you lose so much in poker? You think you're doing everything right. You lost with Ace King to 6-5. How often does Ace King win against 6-5? Let me get out the calculator here. We have Ace King offsuit against 6-5 suited. How often do you think Ace King wins against 6-5 suited before the flop? All in. How often does Ace King beat 6-5 suited? Does anybody know? I'm going to guess 59%. Let's see what we have. 58.42%. Pretty close. 0.6 off. It's not so bad. Someone thinks 2-2-4 is smaller than 2-4. More money in the pot typically equals a bigger game. You built your bankroll from $250 to $3,000. Good job. But now you can't seem to grow it. You're going to go through ebbs and flows. I mean, especially in tournaments, right? You respect my strategy. Well, I respect all of you. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great day. I've had an interesting week. One of my friends who actually helped me make some of the content at pokercoaching.com in terms of like making it good for teaching. He's into CryptoPunk, so he took me to a CryptoPunk party here in New York City. Now I own a CryptoPunk. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. That's probably a problem. Do I want to become famous? Buy followers and viewers at this weird URL. No thank you. We're probably not going to do that. When's the next sale on Poker Coaching Premium? I'm not sure. Also, I have a new book coming out soon. Yeah. Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker. The Essential Guide. Yeah. Nice, big, solid book. Yeah. Full of colors, charts, questions, quizzes, hand examples, IO solver examples, life stuff, bankroll stuff. Solid book here. How many pages is this book? This book is 400. Only 400 this time, everybody. 462 pages, okay? You can pre-order it. dnbpoker.com, I believe. This is actually a remake of my first 3 books. We went back, completely rewrote it, combined them. Here we are. We're lagging? No, don't tell me we're lagging. No way. I'm going to make sure I'm not uploading anything. Don't think we are. We should not be. It does say we are dropping a tiny bit of frames. Weird. Oh, you know what? I'm actually on the slightly wrong internet today because the other one wasn't working. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe one of you know the answer. I have Fios internet, and I have 2 different internets. The 5G one has been going out every 3 or 4 days until I reset the router. I don't know why this is happening, but it's happening. And my solution I found is just get on the backup internet. They have two different internets. Fios 5G, Fios regular. The regular is not quite as good as 5G, but it seems to not go out ever. So I don't know what the deal is. You say you're not lagging, fine. Anyway, Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker, The Essential Guide. Very excited about this book. It's a big book. It took a lot of effort, a lot of work. You would be shocked how difficult it is to go back and take something that was made 10 years ago and completely update it. Interestingly enough, I would guess that, I don't know, 80% of the stuff is effectively very new. 25% of the stuff is left over from before. Like, even things like pre-flop ranges are different, right? Things like, well, GTO did not exist as far as we know it, or as we know it today, about 10 years ago. So, anyway, good, solid book. I'm excited about it. It is hardcover. Nice, solid hardcover book. I pushed the publishers to make it a nice, solid hardcover book because I've seen what you do to your regular softcover books. My dad has a copy that I see every time I see him that's like just really, really beat up. It's like completely torn apart. So I know all of you tear apart your books, so I fought hard to make this hardcover for all of you. We kept same price point, $40. So it's a value. Try to give it away. Hi from Australia. Good morning, good morning. Make sure you press the like button. Yeah, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers. Who'd have thought that we'd get 100,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, given the wildly high production value we have here. But we're almost there. I appreciate all of you. We're going to be doing some sorts of giveaways. Maybe we'll give away some money. Maybe we'll give away some coaching with me. Who knows what else we'll do. Do I find it better studying in the morning or evening for attention? You need to study when you're with it and not distracted, whatever that means. Can I explain the importance of defending both blinds with marginal hands versus late position opens? Well, look, from the small blind, you really should not be defending with all that marginal of hands. I mean, it depends on what you call marginal. Like, you don't want to be calling the queen 3 suited from the small blind. That'd be a big mistake because you're not closing the action and you're getting worse pot odds, right? What are good hands to 3-bet versus late position raises? Check out the GTO app at pokercoaching.com. I'm not going to go through and rehash the GTO app for all of you today. We've went through pre-flop ranges plenty of the times here on this channel. But all of that is listed in the pre-flop app. You do need to make sure you do have some bluffs, especially against loose people, right? Let's see. What did I update in the book? Everything. Literally everything. Where can you make more money? Tournaments or cash games? Well, at the end of the day, tournaments only get so big, right? The biggest buy-in tournaments you're going to find are only $1 million in terms of the buy-in. And if you have a whopping 10% return on investment in that, that means you'll make a whopping $100,000 per event. Obviously, those events don't happen very often. It does say we're dropping some frames. Man, I'm tempted to try to switch my internet. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to attempt to switch my internet. It may fail. There's a chance you got to click refresh. I'm going to try to swap this. Hopefully it doesn't kick me off. Reconnection successful. It says it right here. I think it's working. It says no drop frames, everybody. It says no drop frames. This internet's been giving me a hard time. The issue is you play the internet poker on Sunday and you got to make sure your internet's working, right? Thoughts on Zoom poker / fast forward poker? Really good if you want to get in a lot of hands against really good people. Very bad if you want to make money. All right, I think we'll be fine now. Internet seems to be functioning. Would love to pick my brain about exploitative folds in lower stakes games. Which book should you get? Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em, or this one when it comes out in June / July, Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker, The Essential Guide. Both of those discuss that. What's your recommendation? Remember, buy-ins. Check out pokercoaching.com/bankroll. What are the best casinos to play where they don't take that much money from the pot? Call them and ask. I don't know. Namaste, Nickel. Hope you're having a great day. You've been crushing 1-2. At what point do you jump to 1-3/2-5? Whenever you feel like it. Whenever you're properly bankrolled, right? Can gamblers be successful at poker? Depends on what you mean by a gambler. What kind of gambler? Are we talking about like a problem degenerate gambler? I mean, look, anybody can be successful at pretty much anything, right? The question is, are you going to actually do the work and be disciplined? Do you come to the point that you're too lazy to play poker? Not me. I like money. So I thoroughly enjoy making money. You want to show me a pitch deck to invest in your company? I'm probably not going to be investing in your company. Send an email, support@pokercoaching.com. All right. What's the best way to pick bluffs in your range? Ideally, you want to pick blockers to the nuts. Typically. You also do not want to block hands that your opponent will easily fold, because you want them to be more likely to have a hand that they will fold, right? So you don't necessarily want to block stuff like middle pair decent kicker when you triple barrel, because when you block middle pair decent kicker, that's a hand that would perhaps call a flop bet, call a turn bet, fold to a river bet. So if you have one of those decent kickers in your hand, they're going to be more likely to not have that hand, which means they either have a way worse hand or they have a better hand, like top pair, that's going to be more inclined to call. Why don't you play poker? I do play quite a bit of poker. Funny enough, I play 1 day of poker per week right now, And I bet I play more poker than almost everybody in the chat. Because I put in a lot of volume. Volume cures variance. You all know that. You want to make money as easily as possible. I mean, look, you have to realize whenever you are thinking about how do I make the most money, that in most gambling arenas perhaps involves playing at places that are a little bit shady. For example, there are various apps that are ran by shady characters, and they may or may not pay you. But the games are super soft. So, should you play those games? Sure, right? I mean, you have to realize you're taking the risk, right? Look at sites like the ones that operate illegally, or, you know, perhaps in a very, very gray area in America, like Bovada and America's Card Room. These sites are pretty soft, but they may shut up and close at any point in time for various reasons. And when they do, I can be pretty sure they're not going to pay you. They may, right? When America's Card Room banned me for saying exactly this, they paid my money back. They didn't rob me. They're not going to let me continue beating up on their soft players. But they didn't rob me. So I have no reason to think they're going to rob you. But history does not strictly repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes. And if you have paid attention to the online poker space over the last 10, 15 years, you've seen countless sites that operate shadily go broke and not pay people back for one way or another. So what do? Keep the minimum amount on these sites. The thing is, these sites and the people who represent these sites are going to tell you to put all your money in there. It's safer than a U.S. regulated bank, which is something I took offense to whenever America's Card Room representative said that, because it's obviously not true. And you have to realize sites want you to put your money on there and forget about it, or leave it on there, or just play and grind and break even / lose the rake. That's what they really want from you, because then whatever you deposit is theirs. Some casinos, a lot of casinos out there, don't view your deposit as a deposit. They view it as a purchase. And you know what the goal of a lot of companies is? Provide you a good product, right? They have games, they run, well, sometimes. They go down quite often. Have good games, they run. And then don't have refunds. You do not want people to get a refund. Like if you go and buy a pair of shoes on the internet, they do not want you to return that pair of shoes ideally, because that costs them a lot of money. Whenever you buy into a poker site for $100 and you cash out $100, or God forbid $150, that is a disaster for them. So they want you to put your money on there and put a lot of money on there, play, get raked away, or just break even. Because then it's kind of like you're just giving them money to hold on to. So anyway, that's that. Hello from South Korea. What's the topic today? Hello, Jason. Good morning. We are talking about Ask Me Anything. Is there a point where chips are not worth their original value? Wait, chips? I don't know what you mean by chips, apparently. Chips lose value in tournaments immediately, pretty much. You play $50, no limit on PokerStars. You have a good win rate. Are the other clients softer? Yeah, so look, going back to that idea, right? The straight up illegal shady apps where you're dealing with very shady middle people who may or may not pay you, half the time don't pay you. These are going to be the softest games by a mile. Next, most soft games are going to be the illegal sites that operate on a broad scale. Next is going to be the very licensed, regulated sites for the most part. These are going to be sites like PokerStars and Party Poker and GG and World Series of Poker, sites like this. PokerStars is thought to have the toughest games. That said, if I had to pick one site out there that I would trust with my money like a U.S. regulated bank, it would be PokerStars. I have like $20,000 sitting in my PokerStars account. I haven't played on it in 2 years. I'm not worried about it. Hope you don't have to log in every year or something. No, they wouldn't do that, because that would be ridiculous, right? I know some of the shady sites said you have to log in every 3 months or every 6 months or something like that to make sure your account's still active. It's like, get out of here. Yes, if I have $20,000 on your site, I know I have $20,000 on your site. So anyway, but like, I essentially do think that those regulated sites are incredibly safe, and they are, right? Because they're backed by the government and law to some extent. They're not backed by the government, but they are protected by stringent laws. Yeah, 888 Party Poker, sure. How do you get access to my Spin and Go course? Check out pokercoaching.com/premium. It is right there for you. Is there a way to win this nice looking book? We'll probably give away a few of them at some point. How much does the Spin and Go course cost? I would definitely recommend you just sign up for Poker Coaching Premium. I do not know how much it costs off the top of my head. I don't even know if you can buy it off the top of my head. We've decided to go the Netflix model to some extent, where we're going to give you whatever you want as long as you're a paying member. Whatever you want. That way, we're not out here trying to nickel and dime you and say, oh, you got to pay more money for this. You got to pay more money for this. You got to pay more money for this. I realize that that is a very frustrating experience. So we have 2 tiers. Well, we have a free tier as well. So we have a free tier, a standard tier, and a premium tier, and that's it. And hopefully it's clear enough what you have access to in each of those tiers. If you're a premium member, you get access to literally everything on the site, and that's pretty much everything I've produced. So there you go. How can you study adjustments versus players who play poorly? You can use programs like PioSolver, right? You can go in, you can input whatever strategy you think your opponent is playing, and then it will tell you what you should do. But really, it's very logical most of the time. Like if someone is really bad, right? Say this player donk bets boards where the proper strategy is sort of to be checking. What are they donking with? Simple as that. They're betting into you, who should have a good range/nut advantage, right? So if they're donking in a spot where you are clearly at an advantage, this situation becomes pretty easy. It's just a question of how should you best play your hand against their range. Your question is, what is their range, right, Roberto? If their range is all nuts, you should just fold a lot or call a draw hands. If their range is a lot of medium strength hands, how will they play those? Will they fold a lot if you raise, or will they call a lot if you raise, right? You figure that out. Do they lead with a lot of draws and junk? You should be doing a lot of raising and or, perhaps calling, depending on how you think they'll play. So that's that. Am I going to play the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas? Yes. How should you get the most out of your hand review session with your poker coach and coach? Come prepared with lots of hands, and make sure you think about the questions ahead of time and write them down. Ideally, provide that document to the coach ahead of time so that they have it. They can look it over it if they feel inclined, right? You want to make sure you're prepared whenever you're going into a coaching session. I always make it crystal clear, if you're going to come to me for a coaching session, you better have a bunch of hands written down and or, in hand history review form. Get it to me ahead of time, or make sure it's loaded up on your computer ahead of time, and ideally have your questions written down. So you have to do a little bit of preparation. It turns out if you do 30 minutes or an hour of preparation, it's going to make your work with anyone you're doing for anything substantially better. All right, let's see. Did Lexy Gavin start her own training site? Yes, that is not a scam. We'll perhaps be working with her a little bit. You love Poker Coaching Premium. Glad to hear it. I do not caddy, but I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. To be fair, look, I have worked with a lot of people. I'm the worst remembering people's names. I'm sorry for everyone for all of that. I've worked on this. I have a problem remembering lots of stuff in the short term. So if I meet you one time, unless you make a heck of an impression, I'm gonna have a hard time remembering your name. I'll remember you. I'll remember how you act, what you look like, etc., but I will not remember names. It's not good. I do my best. If I meet you 4 or 5 times though, we're good to go. Kevin says, buy the 3-year Poker Coaching Premium offer. It's worth every penny. Look, if you're going to study poker, and you're really devoted to getting good at poker, you need to make sure you are studying a lot. Like if I wanted to become a doctor, I need to probably study a lot, right? And fine, I know I need to study a lot. Now you just need to get good resources to study that you know are going to be continuously updated, and it's going to give you plenty of content. And I think that's where poker coaching excels. We have interactive content, right? It's not just static content where you just load up a video and have a beer and pass out on the couch. That's not what we're doing. Ideally, you're in there, clicking the buttons, actually making the decisions, and getting feedback in real time, as if you're playing online and having a private coaching session right there. Or we have quizzes where the videos are short, then you get tested on what you just learned, right? It's interactive. That way, we ensure you're actually learning and not just hanging out. Also, we have loads and loads of content. There are a few sites out there that are quite expensive, substantially more expensive than mine, and they have about 8 hours of content. It's not going to last you for your poker career, in my opinion. To be fair, it's a good 8 hours of content, very, very high-level 8 hours of content, but that is not what it's not what anyone needs long-term, in my opinion. It's a good primer, right? It's very good to get a crash course that will get you up to speed quickly, which is why I have my tournament masterclass. And I hate to break it to you, you can't teach somebody everything they need to know to beat tournaments in 8 hours. You can't do it. Which is why mine's about 40 hours, and even then, We're continuously expanding it a little bit and adding additional little parts, right? Is GTO important when no one knows how to play GTO? You need to know how to adjust whatever your opponents do incorrectly. Do I own any Bitcoin? Yes. What's my thoughts on cryptocurrency? I have far too much Decred at the moment. D-E-C-R-E-D. Let's see. We already talked about this. You're stuck. Melly says you're stuck after getting up to 3K. I mean, I remember whenever I first started playing a long time ago, I started with $50, and I got up to like 1,000. It was at a plateau at 1,000, and I got up to, I think it was 6,000, and I plateaued at 6,000. And I was playing cash games with a good edge, right? And what am I trying to say here? My brain's thinking about CryptoPunks right now. Sorry. So I got at a plateau, and you just have to keep grinding, right? You got to realize you're lucky that you're plateauing and not losing a bunch of money. And you mentioned that you're playing tournaments, and tournaments have lots of variants, right? Hello from Alabama. Hello, hello. I used to live close enough to Alabama in Pensacola. Ignition will definitely do for now. Back in the day, games were amazing on sites like UB. I mean, look, yeah, the sites that are less trafficked, the sites that don't have all that many people, the sites that are a little bit smaller, the sites that have bad cash-out methods, the site that make it difficult for you to put your money in. It's essentially sites that have problems, and especially sites that cater to gamblers, like, well, to be fair, a lot of sites have casinos now. Back in the day, they didn't. But today, a lot of sites have casinos or sports books. The sites that are like mainly sports books, but also have a poker room, those are usually very, very good. Who's the first famous poker player you remember playing against? I remember playing against Barry Greenstein a long time ago. What are various flop analytical tools? There's a bunch of them out there. How do you play aces? Typically, you want to put money in the pot with them. What should you do when you read so many books, watch so many videos, study, etc., but are still losing across the board? Peter, you got to make sure you're actually learning, because maybe you're reading, but you're not necessarily comprehending. Again, I don't know anything about you, Peter. This is just a blanket statement, right? Maybe you're not actively learning, right? I mean, this is a big problem where people just like watch content and they don't really apply it. People get stuck in their mindset where this is how I play this hand. I can watch this person do it, but I kind of don't care. I'm just going to do what I do. And then that results in them essentially never implementing new strategies. Take notes on things you want to be implementing and make sure you do it. Also, you may not be putting in enough volume, right? You said you're playing across the board, tournaments, cash, 6-max, 9-max. Find something and focus on it. I played only 9-handed sit-and-go tournaments. 9-handed tournaments is the only thing I played for 3 years. Actually, I played Limit Hold'em too, but after I moved from Limit Hold'em to sit-and-goes, 3 years straight, only sit-and-goes, 9-handed. I did not play 6-handed ones, because I knew it was a different game, right? And that resulted in me getting really, really good at that particular game. That was perhaps not the best game to play, because it died eventually. We killed it. But it was very good, because it let me turn $50 into $350,000 with almost no variance. It's just a matter of putting in the volume. Whenever you're trying all sorts of stuff, it's almost like you're just trying to find something that works and get good at something, and you get good at something by focus. You don't get good by spreading yourself thin. Do we have discounts for Poker Coaching Premium? Look, anytime you want to see if we have a discount running, just send us an email, support@pokercoaching.com, and we will tell you what we have going on. Thoughts on Poker Snowy? Search YouTube, Jonathan Little Poker Snowy. With proper bankroll, if you have $1,000 in your GG account, can you only play $5 tournaments? It depends on if the $1,000 is all of your poker money, right? We talk about this. I do not recommend you keeping all of your poker money on any poker site. And I don't think GG is going to rob you, but I would still recommend not keeping all of your money on a poker site. And again, not all of your money, but all of your poker money. And so, I mean, like, for example, let's say you have a job and you make $300 in money that goes to poker each month, and you know you're going to do this for a year. It's kind of like you have a $3,600 bankroll, right? 300 a month times 12 is 3,600. So you have is that right? 3,600, yeah. You have $3,600, and that is your bankroll. So in theory, you have 1,000 online plus, call it 2,600 more. So really, you're kind of bankrolled to play $15 tournaments, right? Even though it's not all on the site. Don't keep all your money on poker sites, any of them. How long does it take to determine an opponent's playing style? Not long at all. Pay attention. Use reads you have on other players that seem to be similar, which are going to be wrong sometimes. They're going to be more accurate than not, and that'll be useful. What percentage of the hands do you continuation bet rather than check? Depends on the board, right? It's very, very important. You can say we default continuation bet 72% of the time, but that's not helpful. When should you not re-enter in a re-entry tournament? Because your chips are not worth the amount that they were originally worth? Oh, no. So as you get fewer chips in a tournament, those chips become proportionally more valuable. So you should actually be very willing to re-enter late. Because if you have like one big blind, that's actually very, very valuable in a tournament because you can get in the money with one big blind. Whereas if you have 1,000 big blinds, it's not, I mean, it's valuable, but it's not worth 1,000 times the one big blind stack. So you should be willing to re-enter quite late. What's the proper raise size in the first few levels of a tournament? Depends on what your opponents are going to do wrong, right? Who would you recommend for PLO coaching? I guess I'd go with Jane Andes. He has lots of good content. I mean, seems good. Has lots of. He's very active. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Phil Galfond. That's a good one, right? I've run it once. Has a lot of great PLO content. Let's see. When are we extending the tournament cash game masterclass? I'm in the process of making it. It's probably not going to be ready for a few months. Sorry. Takes a lot of time. Ace king, the small blind, 3 people limp. You raise. Is a raise mandatory? Yeah. How do you make money winning at Baccarat? You don't. Proudest poker moment. It's going to sound bad. It's probably going to sound egotistical, but you can trust me or not. I have a problem with feeling accomplishment. I don't think I really feel accomplishment like a lot of people. If you all go back and watch my first WPT win, I won the hand. I won $1 million. And I was not smiling. I just cleaned off my glasses and was moving on to the next hand. And Mike Sexton said, "Smile, son. You just won $1 million." But in my mind, I just got it all in with ace-2 and spiked against ace-8. That's annoying. All right, let's go. Which is not good, right? So, I mean, I think the proudest moment was winning this. Global Poker Award. People's Choice Poker Personality of the Year. I'm the reigning Poker Personality of the Year because there was not a 2020 awards. There is a 2021 awards. Are we going to try to win it again? What do you think? Type GPI in the chat if you think we should try to win it. It's voted on by you. Look at that. It's so bright. How's that so bright? Can't even tell what it is. It's so bright. That was a moment of pride because I feel like that was a little bit more earned than poker results are earned. And I realized that I could have very easily not won the 2 WPTs that I won. There's the trophies for those right there. That thing and that thing. I could have very easily not won those, right? I could have just lost a flip at the end or whatever. Or lost a flip on day one. Who knows? And there's a lot of variance, right? So why I don't get happy when I get lucky. I get happy when I win something based on skill and merit. And poker really does not... I mean, poker allows that, right? Look, if you show up and you put in good volume, you will get good results. The question is how good. But any individual tournament is just a lot of luck to some extent. Have you and Phil made up? Who's Phil? Phil Helmuth? I like Phil Helmuth. What is Brain Fuel? You're welcome to plug. Go to brainfuel.com. Use promo code POKERCOACHING to get 15% off. This is a cerebral beverage. It'll get you thinking right. Essentially, I'll tell you what it does for me. It's like I drink about 12 cups of coffee over the course of the entire day, all spread out when I drink one Brain Fuel in the morning. It does have a decent amount of caffeine, 360 milligrams. That's, I think, equal to about 3 cups of coffee. When you drink it, it releases slowly throughout the day. And I like that a lot. How do you play against people who play very wide ranges because of re-entry tournaments? Don't fold. Don't fold good hands, right? Be willing to get in a little bit wider. You open the button, ace strike suited, folds to the hijack, he calls. King, jack 9, you check, he checks back, turns jack, he bets. So this guy limped, you raise, he called. Check, check, flop's good, he bets, you raise, he calls. You may just want to call turn, but whatever, raise fine. River's a 10, he bets, he 6-bet jams. What's 6-bet jam mean? It went check, bet, raise, re-raise, 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 re-raise. Yeah, you should probably fold. Update on secrets, please. Here it is, right here. Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker. The Essential Guide. It is not available yet. You can get it at dnbpoker.com. You can pre-order it at least. Good, solid, big book. Hardcover book. I've seen what you do to the covers of your soft cover books that I write. They get torn up because you all study them till they're worn out. And I wanted this book to not get worn out. Check it out. Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. How do you randomize your betting frequencies? The second timer. Am I a Republican or a Democrat? I kind of like to think of myself as a centrist. Is that a thing? Someone kind of in the middle who tries to be logical and reasonable and doesn't turn politics into a religion? How do you find out your own tell? Watch yourself. Pay attention. Guy says he could tell by your tell when you turn the nuts. Pay attention to what you do, right? You have to be very self-aware. You got to be really, really, really self-aware. Vitally self-aware. Vitally self-aware. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. Ideally, play on streamed games, right? And look at yourself. Watch yourself. What are various post-flop bet sizes? Are these fine? I mean, I don't really think like this. I think of it more as... I mean, look, there are various bet sizes for different boards, right? Like, you know, the dry boards are going to be betting smaller than the coordinated boards, right? You're basically never 2x potting it on the flop, though. Lots of GPIs. All right, I guess we'll try to win. You value your poker results. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing. I don't really take pride in most things. It's probably a problem. I should, celebrate more, right? Smile, son. You just won $1 million. You should say your proudest moment was when I coached Amy to her charity poker tournament win. Yeah, that was. But even then, there's luck involved, right? My wife's been on TV. She's been on WPT for final tabling a charity tournament there too. But there's some luck. Anybody could have done it. My wife can do it. She doesn't even know how to play poker. What's your standard strategy with a $15 button straddle? I guess at 1-3. Play pretty tight. Have I ever been robbed? People have borrowed money, then not paid me. That's more like scammed. Have I ever been robbed? No, I don't think so. Pretty lucky so far, right? Please don't rob me. I would appreciate if you don't do that. Am I going to play the World Series of Poker in the fall? Yes. What's your biggest gamble in my life? We have far too much money in Decred. We already said that. Is it safe to sign up with an affiliate for a rakeback program on a site like Ignition? Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, I don't know. Does it mess with terms and conditions? I don't know. But it should be fine. Realize the affiliate may disappear. Back when I used to play on Party Poker, I was getting paid $20,000 a month in rakeback. This was a long time ago. Long time ago. And you had to go through affiliates. They don't do that anymore because they realize the affiliate idea is kind of silly. At least I think it's kind of silly. The idea is that someone is going to promote their site, and if they get you to sign up, let's say Jonathan Lill is going to promote Party Poker. If you sign up to Party Poker through me, using my promotional code, I'll give you some sort of bonus, which often Party Poker pays anyway. And then Party Poker gives me something like 30% of your rake. Then a rakeback person, me, would then give you something like 27% of your rake back. So you get 27% of your rake back, I get 3%, and the site takes 70, right? And that's what they would do a long time ago to get people to sign up. And some sites still have this deal. A lot of sites now don't do that. They just give you a VIP program. Anyway, there's a risk that the affiliate would just disappear on you. So my affiliate was a big affiliate for all of the high-stakes sit-and-go players. And one day just decided to up and leave. And we didn't have affiliate money for a few months till we all dealt with it, right? Only 49 likes. Everybody doesn't like question and answers. They don't like me sitting here, waking up in the morning, having my brain fuel, answering all your questions. That's okay. You don't have to appreciate this. If you don't appreciate it, that's okay. Cheers to you too. I'm happy that all of you are here. The way you perceive table limits change the way you play. Yes, if the opponents are not sophisticated. Well, when I say sophisticated, if the opponents are really not sophisticated, then no. If they are pretty good players trying their best and they're okay, then definitely yes, because they're going to over adjust. And if they're really good players, they're going to realize I probably just got good cards, right? Because they all know I'm a reasonable, competent poker player. Book looks sharp. This is a sharp-looking book, right? That was the goal. I was going for a big, sleek book. It's going to sound bad. I kind of stole the idea. There's this other book I like called The High Growth Handbook. This is just a bunch of blog posts by a guy who talks about growing companies. It's like a big, solid, chunky book, right? And I said, look, I want to do something kind of like this. Not exactly like this, but kind of like this. Here's what we came up with. My book's a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. But, you know, comparable. I did not want a book that was going to fall apart after you read it 3 or 4 times. What adjustments should you make as medium and low stack at the final table? Read. Excelling at No Limit Hold'em. Who created GTO? I don't know who created GTO. A long time ago, there was a book. Do I have it back here? It's somewhere back here. Expert Heads Up No Limit Hold'em by Will Tipton. A D&B poker book. This was essentially the Bible for the 300 best poker players in the world. And it was actually kind of unfortunately titled because it was about Heads Up No Limit Hold'em, but it could be extrapolated, right? And that was, as far as I know, the first like big work on GTO strategy. What's a good book for the mental game of poker? Positive Poker and Peak Poker Performance. What's a good starting point for cash game strategy? My cash game masterclass, pokercoaching.com/premium. What's the best way to sell action today? Find someone who appreciates your poker skills, send them a text message, and sell them. For example, I'm going to go play the, what's it called? The US Poker Open in about 2 weeks at Poker Go. It's a bunch of $10,000 to $50,000 buy-in tournaments. I sent one text message and sold some action. That was it. You need to have a good network around you of people who think you're good at poker. Ideally, you've made them money in the past in some way. Ideally, you've helped them in some way, right? And that's pretty much it, right? Ideally, these are people who understand poker results. You probably don't want to be getting backing from a random person who doesn't understand poker variance, right? Like I fully realized when I go out here to US Poker Open, I think the max I can lose is 250K, roughly. And I realize this. I'm cool with it. Backer's cool with it. So we're good to go. If I go out there and I brick city everything, yeah, it's going to suck, but it's not like they're going to hate me or anything like this. You know what I mean? Like they know what they're signing up for. Whereas if you go to like not to belittle random business people, but a random business person who doesn't play poker, and they think you're going to win all the time, whereas in reality you're going to win like 30% of the time because you're playing high variance tournaments, then probably not going to work out. Will I play a full schedule? Probably not. I have a wife and 2 kids. I can't go out to Vegas for 2.5 months. Queen Jack suited, small blind, limp or raised. You can do whatever you want. Oh, did I not get some Magic cards nicked from my car? I did, but that wasn't me getting physically robbed. I did leave Magic the Gathering cards in my car a long time ago. I must have been like 16 years old. We had like a carport outside, and I parked the car there. I had a convertible, and someone... I knew I was going to go to sleep for like 2 hours and go to work because I used to work at the airport. I played Magic Tournament till like 4 a.m. Went home, I had to be at work at 7 a.m. or something like that. So, went home, parked the car, ran up to the bed to sleep for 2 hours. I came back down, someone had cut a hole in the top of my car, and they took my Magic the Gathering cards. I got lucky because they only took about half of them. That was probably an expensive robbery. If I could get those cards today, I would have had a lot more money. Oh man, I made some poor decisions with Magic cards. I sold a collection a long time ago for, I say a long time ago, it must have been 15 years ago for like $10,000. I was like, these are sitting in the closet. I'll get a free 10K. It's probably worth like 300K now. It's brutal. Why do you guys keep typing stuff like this in the chat? I mean, hello, you realize I'm a little bit behind, right? 62 likes. Thank you for liking my show. High value tournament series for mid-stakes players. You're based in the Southwest. I mean, just go to Vegas. Play tournaments at like the Wynn, right? We were all boycotting the Venetian for quite a while because they were very anti-online poker there. But now that Sheldon's no longer with us, then I don't know. As far as I know, they've roughly stopped all their anti-online poker stuff pretty much immediately as soon as he decided to depart. So Venetian has good games. Wynn has good games. Planet Hollywood has good games, right? There's a lot of tournaments in Vegas. Also, if you're in like California, I mean, there's stuff at LA, right? At the Bike and Commerce and all that. So I don't know. Give it a try. Find a place near you and go play is really what it amounts to. Where should your buddies and you play in late June for his bachelor party so you don't get cleaned out? If you want a soft game, you should probably play at the non-main places. You should probably go to like Bally's or maybe Planet Hollywood, places like that. Who owns BrÈINFúEL? I own a tiny piece of it. There's a doctor who actually invented a lot of stuff pertaining to eye surgeries who made BrÈINFúEL for himself because he would have to be doing various long surgeries, and he realized he got a little bit tired after doing surgery for 6 or 8 hours and needed something to fix his problem. So he invented BrèINFúEL. He also invented a bunch of other medical related things. This is the first beverage he ever invented, though, and I'm telling you, I don't promote much besides exactly my own stuff, but BrèINFúEL is where it's at. I'm going to take it with me to US Poker Open. Only thing I've ever taken with me to drink was this other like green smoothie powder, which I'm also going to take. But I like BrèINFúEL quite a lot. Should we always strive to play the highest stakes against the best players? No. Well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, right? Can you get my book in the Philippines? I don't know, probably. Would I stake Ryan DePaulo? Not that rich yet. You think US Poker Open has good value? I think it will. I said in the past I want to play against crushers, etc. Yeah. You do not want to play with the best players in the world. However, poker's booming. Up until a week ago, crypto was through the roof, so everybody was rich. And I presume the games are still going to be pretty great. If you've looked at the various high-stakes games online, they've just been going off at the moment. Also, like live poker's been booming. Some of those people are going to win some money and go. So I feel quite good about it. When I say quite good, I think I'm going to have like 15% ROI in 50 to 100 person fields, something like that. I think that's reasonable, which is not like a ton, but it's like good. I think it's good. Sounds like an inside job when I got robbed at Santino. I actually think I know who did it. Just pure speculation. This is going to sound crazy. You want to hear a crazy story? There was a guy who I was very friendly with in Pensacola, where I used to live. And after I moved a year or two later, there was like one other Magic the Gathering player in the town who had a big collection, probably worth $100,000, give or take. And this guy who I was friendly with broke into the guy's house, killed him, took his Magic cards, took the guy to Georgia, buried him in the ground, and put a concrete slab over it. And then he started selling the Magic cards all around the Southeast. That could have been me. Luckily, he just cut the top of my car. I'm pretty sure it was him. But it could have been anybody. But, jeez. Jeez. How many tables optimal to play at once? Minimum. Thoughts on Blitz Poker? Good way to get a lot of experience against good players. Not a good way to make money. We have a poker coaching webinar starting in 15 minutes. I better hurry. How much practice should it take to crush the small stakes? I don't know. Depends on how bad the opponents are. How much do you make on YouTube? $0. $0.0. I spend a bunch of money on YouTube. Would you all believe I spend, we'll call it $10,000 a month making this content for you. So I lose $10,000 a month on YouTube. You're welcome. Community service. Obviously, I hope you go to pokercoaching.com. Hope you check out BrèINFúEL. Hope you check out the work that I do. Listen, essentially my business model is give away a lot of stuff for free and help people out. That way, whenever they do actually decide to take poker seriously, they're going to think about me first, come to my site, sign up, they're going to see that it's great, and they're going to stay signed up. That is how I make money. I spend a bunch of money doing my best to make this YouTube content great. Favorite poker room in Atlantic City? I've really only played in Borgata. You like everything I do. Thank you. Do you have a favorite hand that you normally wouldn't play? No, I typically just play the good hands. I typically just play the good hands. I like stuff like 10-7 suited. That's a solid one. It's a spicy one. Magic is no joke. Murder for Magic cards, WTF. You can look up the story. His name was Sean Dugas. D-U-G-A-S. Why was that not on my murder shows? Yeah. It's wild stuff, man. Could have been me. Seriously, could have been me. Because like I had a comparable collection back then. And I went to that guy's house, Sean's house, to play poker one time. He had a bunch of cats, and the house smelled of cat feces. I didn't care, because I wanted to play my $1 buy-in poker tournament. The guy who killed him was there. Wild stuff, huh? Who are tax advisors I would recommend? I use Teresa Fox. Teresa is amazing. She does the taxes for many, many, many high-stakes poker players. How about I quit YouTube and just stake a bunch of people in the main event? We'll probably be buying somebody into the main event, maybe. Be patient, everyone. Be patient. When did I start playing poker? 2003. Your dream is to become a player like me. Well, grind hard. You just won your seat to the main event. Good job, good work. D-U-G-A-S. Ah, man, oh man. What a day, what a day. Fun day, huh? It's been a fun week. It's been a wild week. Didn't you sell your Magic collection to Rudy on YouTube? I sold Rudy some of my Magic collection. See all this back here? These are full of Magic cards. I'm just going to put a handful. These are the dual lands. Dual lands, dual lands, dual lands, dual lands. So no, we did not sell the whole collection. These are all color-coded, alphabetized. Put the dual lands up front, you know, in the land box. I sold them everything that was extra. What are these? These are black cards. Yeah, Cabal Therapies, Dark Rituals, you know. Anyway, I sold Rudy the extras. I happen to have an extra set of Beta Power back then. I wish I held on to the Beta Power. I actually felt pretty good about selling that, actually. I think I sold it for like $40K for a set of Beta Power a while back. Felt pretty good about it. Now it's worth 100. Brutal, huh? Let's see. You have a bunch of Magic cards from around 10 years ago that belong to your daughter. How do you know if they're valuable? Vanessa, honestly, this is going to sound bad. They're probably not all that valuable if they're from 10 years ago. The stuff that's really valuable is from like 25 years ago. How do you know if it's valuable? You're going to want to go to eBay, and you're going to want to type in the name of the cards. If you're just like completely clueless about this, ideally I would recommend you find somebody who you trust, who knows the game even a little bit, and they'll probably be able to take a look at that. Can explain check raise strategy. Yeah, you want to check raise very polarized. They should be in a fireproof safe. Yeah, probably. We streamed some Magic games. I did in the past. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to watch it. What cars do I own? I own 0 cars, purposefully. I used to have a Lexus ISF. I got it as a bonus in a backing deal. A long time ago, I had a backing deal where if I cashed for... We set some egregious amount. I think it was like $2.5 million in a year. I would the backer would buy me a Lexus, or buy me a $50,000 car. Actually, it ended up being $60,000, whatever. And I got like... I think I actually lost. I think I got like 2.48 million in cashes in that year. And still got the car. But yeah, Vanessa, this is a tough one. Because like if you go to a Magic store, they may scam you or something, right? Am I vaccinated? Yes, fully vaccinated at this point. How did I do last night? 4 top 5% finishes. Lost 3,000 on the day. You bought Lion's Eye Diamond for $80. Now it's $800. Yeah. I'll tell you my proudest Magic achievement. I bought a bunch of null rods for between $10 and $25. When I say a bunch, I mean like 500 of them, give or take. I don't know. They're sitting all in the closet. Who knows what I could actually sell them for now, but I could sell them for at least 100, which is great. How do you make do without a car with children? I'm in New York City where you do not actually need a car. Also, my wife's dad, father-in-law, has a big car. Well, like a van type thing. So, it makes it easy for me. The lesson is don't sell your reserve list cards. Yeah, that's the lesson. The other day, I was browsing on YouTube, on Facebook randomly. I'm in a few Magic the Gathering trading groups, and someone was looking for exactly one alpha Goblin King. And wouldn't you know it, a while back, I bought a grab bag, a Power 9 grab bag, if such a thing exists. Bought a Power 9 grab bag. I got a Mox Sapphire, Beta Mox Sapphire, and then a few other throw-ins. And one of the throw-ins, would you believe it, was like a mint alpha Goblin King. And I think he paid me like $2,000. I got a free $2,000 the other day. It's like, that's so lucky. Just sometimes it just falls in your lap, you know? All right. You were plus 12,000 bucks over 200 tournaments in February. Now you're down 2,000, so minus 14,000 after the next 400 tournaments. Look, there's a lot of variance in poker. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. After I busted all my games, I went and sat on the couch. I'm like, my EV big blind per 100 is like 8 EV big blind per 100 in high stakes games. So like, I feel pretty good about it. And I've had like marginal results. I'm up a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Had a few wins here and there, but like I'm kind of running bad when I get deep, right? Which is fine. Sometimes you're gonna run bad when you get deep. You got to realize you don't get deep all that often. Like yesterday, I had 3 or 4 deep runs out of 20, right? Which means I really only had 3 good opportunities, and I just like ran bad when I got there. So it was like, what can you do? And the thing is you may only, like, say you're not even playing very much volume. Like, say you played 400 games, right? You may have only had like, I don't know, 20 actual good opportunities, 30 actual good opportunities. And it's really easy to go 10 wins, 20 losses in flips late, and you kind of got to string them together even once you get deep. So there's variance in the game. That's what it amounts to. That said, you want to look at your EV big blind per 100. If your EV big blind per 100 is quite high, between maybe 5 and 10 EV big blind per 100, you're probably winning in the game. Ideally, you want to look through your results over a large sample. 400 tournaments is probably not enough. But you want to look at all the stack depths, like 50 and higher, 30 to 50, 20 to 30, 15 to 20, 10 to 15. And you want to make sure that all of that is profitable, right? And look, if you're dealing with a small sample, you may have big variations here. Like I was looking at mine for this year, between like 15, no, what was it? It was between 15 and 20. I was like minus 2 EV big blind per 100, but everything else was like plus 10. I'm probably just running bad with that exact stack size. I look through the spots; they all look standard to me. Just like running into it with that stack size randomly over the course of like 8,000 hands. You know, it's not a lot of hands. So anyway, yeah, you gotta look at EV big blind per 100. That's very, very indicative of skill level. Like if your EV big blind per 100 is like -5, you're probably not good. You probably just ran hot. You're trying to improve post-flop, you cannot afford a solver. Go to pokercoaching.com, sign up, and go through the content by Matt Affleck, Michael Acevedo, and Faraz Jaka. They do lots of great work with the solver. Just go through all of Matt Affleck's content. He asks the students what they want to go through, and then next week he comes prepared with a big presentation on it. It's amazing. Check that out, pokercoaching.com/premium. I gotta go. I have a webinar. We're doing a poker coaching webinar starting in a whopping 5 minutes. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you for being here, Sharks. If you like this show, click like, click subscribe. I appreciate all of you being here. Have a great, great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.